From Significant, this is Crack It in an Hour.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. I'm Simon.
I'm Jesse.
And I'm Biz.
We have Biz today, the upgrade over Roman. Roman, if you're listening, admit it is true.
Roman, if you're listening, I love my job and I'm happy to be here.
That's good.
For those of you who've heard us before, you know the idea. It's one problem, 1 hour to crack it once a week. One of us has the problem. Two of us have no idea what the problem is. I'm going to start the 1 hour clock. And this week, Jesse, you have the problem to crack.
Yes. Simon, you said something funny today that is almost exactly, not exactly what I wanted to talk about, but it was almost like, I'm like, oof, buckle up, because I think this is what we're going to talk about today.
I love it.
And you were talking about writing scripts.
Yeah.
And like the idea of sitting down to write a script these days seems, I forget the word you used.
It's more daunting than it used to be.
Yeah, daunting.
For sure.
And I was going to have us just like live write a script today.
Yeah.
Wow. But we're not going to go exactly that direction. But what I want to talk about, and I admit it's a bit of a subjective subject because, you know, everything we discuss is highly
of course
objective.
Yeah. Yep. There's only one right answer.
And there's only one right answer. This one's subjective. And maybe it's a little bit personal, but I want to talk about the problem that TV has become boring.
Oof. Okay,
Yeah.
I got thoughts on this.
And where I want us to get to in terms of solving something is like, how do you write a great show?
Oh my God.
That's why when you were like script writing, who wants to do that? I was like, we should do that now. But no, we won't. We
should have saved this for a writer. We know so many writers in Hollywood.
So that would have been a good one.
Oof,
we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
We'll do a reprise episode. We've never done that.
Yes,
we should.
I love
we
it.
Should. How do you make something? Yeah. How do you make a great TV show?
I like that question more.
Yeah.
Make. Because it's not just writing.
Okay, that's a good point. And I wrote make here.
Okay.
But I said write. So here we are. And you know, like I know right away, so many people are going to be like, TV's not boring. There's so many good shows. And I'm like, I don't know.
Is there?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think every year, I mean, you know, what constitutes as good? We all have different taste preferences.
Yeah.
I think that there are always one or two standout shows in a year. And I think that makes us feel like there's still like prime TV out there. But I think that there's like a lot more bad, boring, repeatable, predictable TV than, oh my God. Like I remember like the first season of Euphoria was just like, oh my God. Or like when Game of Thrones first came out and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I think like those are getting further and further apart. And I at least like would argue that people often say like, well, we live in literally the most content-rich era of history ever, except how many times have you heard somebody say, there's nothing to watch?
Yeah.
There's like a million things on Netflix, but you feel like there's nothing to watch because it's like 27 versions of like...
House Hunters.
Or like a Hallmark-esque movie of like the princess or the, you know, woman from the city comes to small town and meets a man on a farm, but it turns out to be a prince. And you're like, how many versions of that can we do? The mega hits obviously dominate the conversation. And I think that there are a couple things that have changed in the last couple of years.
Totally.
When we think about TV in particular, like infinite supply makes it harder to sort of feel like things are special.
Yeah.
You know, it's the streaming component removed the scarcity component.
You also have everyone's first toe in the water is a lot shorter than it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like a lot of, I don't mean to jump into it right away, but like you used to have one or two episodes where people would give it a shot.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think you have 1 or 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
And this is one of the biggest problems, which is that the shows are literally now built for second screen, meaning, and I think we were talking about this recently
the Ben
with
Affleck
the Ben
interview.
Affleck. Yeah. they're literally designed to survive distractions. So you assume that people are going to be scrolling TikTok. So you make the plot super simple. You repeat the main plot points as often as possible, assuming that somebody missed it the first 3 times. You put like a explosion in the first, whatever. It's become a bit of like a what's the word? Not like a framework.
Yeah, it's like attention grabbing. Yeah. Like every 5 minutes needs to be like a new way to grab attention.
Totally. And what I find interesting, like so many of our conversations, there's a contradiction in what people think and say and what they do, because everybody will blame attention, right? Everybody says like, well, attention spans are shorter and nobody has the attention for like an hour-long TV show. That's not true. Like people have attention if something is good. People will pay attention to something and immerse in something if it's great. I think we've just now, it's a little bit of chicken or the egg, but we've now started building shows for people to not have to pay attention. Yeah. And so we've gotten really comfortable.
Can I ask 2 clarifying questions, or would you like to?
No, go for it.
Okay, because I think these are 2. The question was, the question to crack, if you will, is how do you make a great show?
Yeah.
Now I have 2 questions. One is, what do you define as a show, and what do you define as great?
Yeah, I think great is good. That's why I said from the beginning, this is going to be so subjective.
Sure. Because I think like let me give you an example. Okay. Like, I don't consider The Big Bang Theory to be a great show, but the ratings, the success of it, and everything else would point out that I was probably wrong.
I wonder if for the purpose of this conversation, great is less about taste preference and more about Success. Like, did it hit sort of mass viewership? Yeah. Did it break through into culture?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I think
that question more, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then my other question too is with show, like for example, like the latest buzzword. I was just down in South by, guys. I just travel all over. Real trend
just
person.
A busy guy.
I was just in South by. I was cavorting with a bunch of people in the entertainment industry. Yeah. And the thing that kept coming up roughly 1 billion times in the conversation was microdramas. Do you consider microdramas a show?
So
what's a microdrama?
Go ahead. Do you want to explain them?
Please, you go for it. I don't quite get them.
Well, what I'm familiar with...
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I get the impression it is high production, sort of more studio style entertainment, but done in bite-sized chunks.
Like for your phone, like verticals?
Do you remember, what was the one that crashed and failed horribly? You remember what was it called? Not Tubi.
Oh my God, what was it?
Shormo or something like that. It was another word like that. The word where literally the whole idea of it was, we're going to make high value, short form content for your phone that you could like watch a million different ways. And it crashed and burned and everyone laughed at it. And now it's kind of becoming the new thing.
The other version of microdramas though, that I'm familiar with is actually the lo-fi production version of like it's really, really big on, I think there's a lot of, I think it's in Korea, especially.
China too.
In China. Yeah, like huge. Making these. I think I told you guys once about the one that I got sucked into about the woman falling in love with the hockey player, and it was and it was crazy. I think I showed you clips from it, and you have to. They want you to download the apps though. Like there are specific apps to access these shows, and they're not they're like comically bad in acting, low production, created in a studio.
But it was still like to that point, the one you even showed me, like I would call it like a very poor version of a Hallmark style production.
Correct. Totally.
So it was still like production.
Yes. You know what I mean?
It wasn't influencer.
Yes, correct.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It was not influencer. It was production, just low quality. But it's a good question about show because man, those things, I think that might be part of the conversation, which is like, do you need to redefine what show is? I mean, I think for my own selfish purposes, I would love to be like, to focus on classic,
Sure.
30 or 60 minute season show, episodic shows.
Okay. So we're going to say it has to have a season. It has to have episodes.
Because I think if the answer here is just like make short form content, it's sort of not the point of the question, which is like, why do we feel like TV got so boring and how do we make it great again?
Yeah. What's your favorite, what's your
rewatch favorite?
What's your sure. Let's start there. Like when you watch shows on Netflix, because I can't speak for YouTube, but I'll speak for myself. Like there's like 5 shows I watch over and over and over. And then there's a whole bunch of new stuff I never watch.
Yeah.
Do you have those as well or no?
I feel like I only watch new TV that's coming out. But
do you?
Like if I were to like, I feel like there's the shows with like a new friend or a new partner where you're like, we have to watch that. And they haven't seen it. And I feel like that's like Girls for me, but that's just because it was
the show.
It was like of the time.
It defined the generation. Have you watched it recently?
Yeah.
What's your take?
Well, that could be a whole episode.
I know.
On how do we reframe Lena Dunham, because I think honestly, she got a shit deal.
Interesting.
In culture. I think that the whole reason why everyone hated her is because she is, for some people deem her conventionally unattractive and she's a woman. But when I think about the fact that show, she was 21 when it went from a web series into an HBO show. And do I think it's like the most brilliant piece of art ever? No, but like it's smart, it's clever.
Totally.
Like it's a good show.
The first season was so fresh. I remember being that. I mean, like, I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah. And I just think if she was like a ugly dude, then they'd be like, she's brilliant.
Yeah.
But that's my thought on that. I think that like we can't stand like powerful, creative women that aren't hot. Conventionally.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my like, and I know now.
This is a longer
I know now
podcast
you literally can't say anything.
I have takes that
I literally,
if the camera went off, I could be like, well,
I know I just shoved you into a closet, but like,
and there's Simon in a corner.
Going,
But I think it's a good show though. But I guess my question too. Well, and I want to know your favorite show, but
I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just love how generational this is already.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Like between the 3 of us, I think 3 of us have completely different relationships to television.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys know I'm probably the worst TV watcher of all of us. And I get really, really excited about new shows, but I'm just so slow at watching new TV. It just takes me forever. My rewatch show is Gilmore Girls. Yeah. And it's like, and
it's very generational,
super generational. And I think for me, especially because I can't work with like music or sound on, and it's a bummer, but I can put on Gilmore Girls because it's like white noise to me at this point. Yeah. So I can just like, I know what's going to happen. I know I'm like, it's beautiful white noise.
It's a comfort show.
I mean, it's not even that. I mean, yes, sometimes, but like literally I can, it's like sound that I can tune out, which is sort of wild to think about. But yeah, Gilmore Girls. I think I know what yours is, but
I got like 4 and they rotate.
Yeah.
But like they're a version of Arrested Development, Detroiters. I watch a lot of Detroiters now that that's out and on Netflix. Seinfeld, which I feel okay about. And The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers are 2 big ones too. Yeah. But they're just but they are all like shows that have like endless episodes.
Yeah.
That I just can sort of like put on in the background forever.
And you watch TV to fall asleep.
I do.
Really?
Yeah. So I need to fall asleep to the sound of a TV show and then I just pass out.
Yeah. So that's kind of my question is like, when we're thinking about a good show, like, is it
The Office, Parks and Rec. Sorry.
The Office is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, Arrested Development is so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could just spend a whole hour talking about shows, but yeah.
But like, is a good show a little numbing? Is it that it gives you something?
Yeah.
Is it that it is the episodic component? It gives you something to look forward to in your like miserable life. Like,
An observation about my relationship to the TV I fall asleep to, which is interesting, is it is comfort food. Like it is like, listen, I loved Game of Thrones. I'm not putting on Game of Thrones before I go to bed. I love The Sopranos. I didn't put on Sopranos before I go to bed because it's like the weird thing. I really like TV that like almost at first is active, but then quickly becomes passive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it other than that.
That's what, because I mean, I like the question of like the shows that you go back to, because I think some of it sometimes is like hindsight. Like, every once in a while, to your point, there's just a really good series where everyone in that moment is collectively like, the show's fucking good. But most TV is like okay art form, but the role that it provides in our life is strong, and then we look back at it and we're like, that's a really good show.
Totally.
That's really interesting.
Like, and so I don't have a full thought here, but with the fact that shows are getting shittier and they're like placating to like our multitasking and all that, like, is it that they're, I don't know, we have less of a emotional connection with them, even if they're like not the world's best art? Like, what? I don't know. I don't have a formulated thought, but do you know what I'm kind of getting at?
Based on what you're saying, which I feel free to, this is just off the top of my head, but TV as an art form wasn't meant to be great. Like, it was meant to fill a different role than being great. I think HBO started creating great shows with The Sopranos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so look at shows up until that point. Like, you can say like, that was great at the art of being, like, people talk about like All in the Family, I Love Lucy, like the classic sort of like, these were great shows. They were great at being a show. And what a show was like, do you ever see the BoJack Horseman breaking down TV where he's like, look, people just want to come home after having a shitty day at the office and like turn off their brain for 30 minutes and feel good about life.
And laugh a little.
And you know what I mean? It was like kind of like, I kind of believe in that philosophy a little bit.
Okay, but let me ask you this, because I agree. However, how often, I don't even know that I've laughed out loud at a new show recently.
Totally agree.
Like, I think it's I'm not saying it doesn't happen ever, but I think that like part of it is the world we live in. Like, I think we're in that, like when you text people LOL, but like, did you actually laugh out loud, or are you just saying LOL? But what I mean by it is, when I say TV's gotten boring and how do we make it good again? I think part of what I'm getting at is like, it doesn't have to be art form. It doesn't have to make you cry, but like, did it make you feel anything? Was it surprising? Was it different?
Was it funny?
Were you like, damn, I haven't seen anything like that? And I just feel like we're in the boring era of it because we're feeding a system, and maybe the system is the problem because it's not incentivizing anybody to take risks with show structure, show stories, casting. Like, all of it's become sort of like planned. There are more competition shows than ever. It's like kids baking championship, Halloween baking championship, this baking championship. Now we're going to do candy baking. Is it cake? Is it not cake? And you're just like, oh my God. Like,
I just want to champion all the like good TV that's happening right now, though. Like, first of all, if you guys haven't watched Neighbors,
I know, we've talked about this.
First, the most recent Neighbors? Episode also has one of our clients in it, so you have to.
Neighbors.
It's now homework. We all have to watch it, but it's so good. It's on HBO. It's one of the best. Like, just dumb, but it makes you feel something. And also, like, all those, like, have you seen like Jury Duty? And, like, yeah. I'm not trying to. I know your point's totally valid, but it's like, it's just interesting because it's. Is it the ratio of content? Is it like the fact that there's just like.
How many of your friends watch TV? Out of curiosity. Like, do you think
all of my friends do?
Do they do?
Yeah. I am like a little bit of a freak. I didn't start watching TV really consistently until like a year and a half ago.
What about you? Do your friends watch TV?
Yeah.
So it's like this idea of it's a generational thing that only old people watch. Like, let's just put that aside for the rest of this conversation.
Yeah, totally. Right? I don't think that there's
no,
I think
there's no age.
I think, and again, like I said, it's a weird topic because it's not like we're not like not producing TV shows. It's not like viewership is on the decline. It's not like content's not being made. I just feel like we've lost the, like I said, it's a very personal, subjective.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like Jury Duty is a great example of a show, but I think Jury Duty was so brilliant, but still a little bit fringe. Like it broke the format and broke people's minds.
You would love it if you
did you watch
seen
it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm watching. You guys watching the new one?
Yeah.
I've watched the new one.
Yeah.
But
well,
it's you can fun lights. Woo! No, okay, not that.
Oh, sorry.
Just have to do a little dancing.
Well, I guess that's what I'm like. Is the amount of good shows that are out and new shows coming in that are good the same, but we just on top of that have a higher volume of shittier content? And then my question is like, so is part of the issue the awareness and the way that the platforms feed you content?
Less shows are being made. Like, to be clear, like really? We have surpassed the golden age of television. We are now in a decline.
Okay.
To the point where like LA has fewer jobs in entertainment than it did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's across the board. Like, I know someone who mentioned to me that 5 years ago there was 60 pilots. This year in pilot season there was 6. Like, there is fewer shows.
That's so crazy.
That's crazy.
Part of the problem too is that studios now more than ever want certainty rather than wanting sort of like, oh, let's just try some stuff and see what sticks sort of thing.
Nothing is incentivizing people to experiment, to try. Which is interesting because I wonder if you might see maybe just maybe one possible upside of like AI production capabilities is that you might see an uptick in experimentation. Because I can understand when shooting a pilot costs you millions of dollars potentially, that you're like, at some point we're not going to take this risk. But if production costs start to go down, like, is one of the upsides that we might see a sort of resurgence of trying new things, seeing what sticks, experimentation in filmmaking and TV. I think that would actually be kind of cool.
The other
hopefully
part
it's not just slop, but
the other part too is I think it's a talent question too. Cause like, I mean, I can think of a few, not many, but I can think of a few channels I follow on YouTube that essentially do TV shows in different formats. And I'm not talking about like, I watch some different ones where it's like just a dude in the wilderness with a camera, but I mean like literally like they wrote a script, they got a set, they shot scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I almost like, I mean, even talking about the girls thing where I think there was like an era where people who were showing that there's already potential around their concept through web series. As kind of served as like the pilot, and then a house bought it. I feel like there hasn't been as much. And I don't know. I'm curious to why we haven't seen as many like content creators who are making good things and prove that they have like reach and concept and talent, not moving up into that space. You know what I mean? Well, like they are like the traditional influencers that I think a lot of us hate are moving into reality TV, but there's a lot of like good like other types of creators that are getting a lot of good visibility that are not making it onto the big screen.
But I think it's back to what Simon said, which is like reality TV right now, competition, reality show, that kind of.
That's the thing.
It's the formula that's going to work. So taking the risk on something else, it's like not something that studios are seem to be doing anymore.
I know like there's one I can think of that I follow where basically this is from insider kind of like what I've heard on the street sort of thing, which is that the math didn't add up to do what you're talking about. Like basically they have a channel and they've also created products from their channel. And then on top of that, they've also control the advertising means and sponsorship of their channel. And it was like, well, wait a second here. I've already built like essentially a media ecosystem.
And I'm making a ton of money.
And you're going to give me what, like $50,000 to do a pilot? Like, why am I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's
this is a step down.
Yeah.
You know
that's interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a business issue.
It's a business. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, for the sake of the conversation, I would love to try to break down
let's do it.
Like
let's solve
the ingredients of like, I'll give you like, I know good is subjective, but like if we're like at least acknowledging, I think we're agreeing on the fact that it's become formulaic. There are
There's less
overall, and maybe it feels like maybe less good. There are good ones out there. Obviously, there's some great content, great TV shows, great movies, but there's less. It's formulaic, and we're just missing like there are less new things that make us feel something. So how do we build something that does that? One of the things that comes to mind for me that at least I feel is maybe one of the anchor problems of TV today is I think the heart of good TV is character development, like character obsession. And because I think when you think about a show that you love, most of the times it's not even the show itself. It is a character within it and then the story around that. And then the show is like the container for all of that. I think, or it's the character that made you love the show. I think there's a lot less development of, I feel like any writer listening to this is just going to come
or
kill
just
me.
Be screaming, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not sure which is it, but like, I think it's part of what makes the obsession and the feel like when you're screaming at the TV because a character has done something, or you're waiting for two people to finally fall in love, or you're like, oh my God, like I cannot believe they did something so stupid. Like that connection with a person. For me, Gilmore Girls was interesting. Not that it had that much drama, but I was basically this like almost the same age as she was as the show was happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like first boyfriend. And then you went to then you graduated high school and you went to college. And then you were like, and I'm like, oh, I felt like I was kind of like living. Yeah. I guess it was parasocial.
So you grew up with the show too,
yeah,
right?
You grew up with it. But anyway, I think character is like a critical ingredient. And I just wonder if because we feed into now just like quick hit stuff, they're underdeveloped, and it's part of what makes shows feel kind of boring, or the characters, I guess, are just formulaic themselves.
I think that's a really good point, is that maybe it's like the storytelling has been built for the algorithm or for social to get little clips versus storytelling built for connection with the audience. What's that like Kim Kardashian show that just flopped super hard with the director from American Horror Story? What's his name?
I think this one, I missed this completely.
I cannot remember what it's called right now, but they spent a lot of money. It had a very impressive cast. Kim Kardashian was in it. Who's the executive producer? Kim Kardashian's mom, Kris Jenner. And the whole
No One Works
show
Harder
was the most horrifying flop, worst TV show I've ever seen in my life. And they built a lot of the show around trying to get these little clips that would go and do well on social.
Yeah.
And not to use that low hanging Kim Kardashian, but I do think that, to your point, it's built for attention, and it's built for the algorithm, but it's not built for the connection to the story, which is the basis of what humans need from storytelling.
Totally.
And that's what we get out of shows, right? Is some sort of lesson, connection, feeling relevant, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a storytelling problem.
I think so. And I think we need to trust again in people's ability to want to go on that journey and stop feeding the belief that they can't or won't. I think great storytelling requires patience. And think about that, the feeling of the journey on a show that you're watching, but you're willing to go on that journey because of the connection you have to the character, to the story.
Yeah.
And I feel like there just has to be a belief again that people are willing to go there, and a trust that it's possible to see patience
Yeah.
To not just like reveal it all at once.
To yearn for it a little bit.
To yearn for it.
And to have a little
build
mystery
desire
around the characters, right?
How do you build a platform that rewards that? Because if you build a platform that rewards that, then you build an easier way to create it. Like back in the day, but like with the way advertising and TV used to work, it was like this symbiotic relationship of like the better the show, the more people that watch it, the more you can charge for ads. So let's try and get the best shows possible. Whereas like with the streaming things, like they can say they're trying to make the best work all they want. Truthfully, it's secondary to just having a lot of content.
Yeah.
Right. So how could you, like, because I agree, and it's like, how do you go back to making that the most obvious sort of way of benefiting it?
Like, I wonder if what I'm about to say is so nonsensical because it's rooted in complete ignorance, but like, what if actually maybe it's already like this, like the pay structure for the creation of the show was rooted in how far people go to the end.
Right. So it's how many episodes do they watch?
Yeah. Did they?
Right.
I mean, just the way almost like ads on YouTube are like, did you skip it after the first second, or did you watch it all the way to the end? And it's like, maybe because I think you could reward the viewer, but what's more interesting to me is to incentivize or reward the creators of these shows to actually want to make something so captivating that people stick with it. And so I don't know if there's like a way to bonuses, a bonus structure.
It's a weird thought.
Does bonus structures exist in TV? I'm sure it does.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, who's the dude who has 1 million shows on Paramount? He has like Yellowstone 1640. He's got a new one coming out.
Then he got a
Tyler
restaurant.
Sheridan.
Yeah.
He has like literally Oil Man. Like he has like 8 shows that are like, listen, anyone who makes it in Hollywood these days, you are like, that is like literally rolling a rock uphill. So like, please don't take this as any sort of judgment or anything, but like there's a formula to them.
Yeah. True.
Right. Like we can all kind of say that sort of thing. And it's like, and I think I know who the audience is too.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with any of that. I'm trying to figure out, like, based on recent success, what can you learn from it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe like I think, and I didn't watch Yellowstone. It was a show I actually wanted to watch, the very first one when it came out. And I
watched 4 episodes on a plane.
Plane shows are a whole other thing we could talk about. There you could just make shows for watching on airplanes.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I don't have a strong opinion about it. It was fine. You know what I mean? I got home off a plane and I haven't watched it since. But I watched 4 episodes on a plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's not what I want.
Yeah, no, I know, totally. Yeah.
And this episode is about me, and it's about what I want.
Exactly.
This is my problem.
I think a lot of things that like often have happened, and I might be sort of like, beauty is like, hindsight's 50-50, but like a lot of the great shows really sort of captured a moment and not just, sorry, let me be clear. It's not like they captured the 70s. What I mean is like, what a really great hook that always gets me for something is like, they're often like tapping at something people are thinking about, but no one's saying out loud. You know what I mean? Like, I think like the premise of Breaking Bad of like, things are so crazy that someone goes to this thing and people go like, I kind of could see that.
I could see it happening. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's like things like that often make it like, and like, I mean, Fallout is like, the world's going to shit. It's not hard to go like, what if the world really went to shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Great
like
show.
there's like things like that too, that are like, you know, like, oh, I see how this works. And I think that, to your point, I think that is part of the cultural magic of really great shows sometimes.
I think that's interesting because what you're talking about is strategy. It's like having literally, how do we want to position, what's an opportunity in culture that's like really either a strong motivator for people or a really emotional anchor for people or a tension people are wrestling with, and how do we build what's a character that either people wish to see in the world or feel like, you know, maybe even people are craving a hero right now. And I could see like I could see that being a really interesting anchor for like, who's the new, like in a post Marvel world, not that we're in a post Marvel world, but you know, we're like on, I don't know, whatever. We're on a it's complicated moment of our relationship. Totally. I've watched them all. I don't, but like, who's the new hero? And I think like and that's interesting to me. Like, I think that's right. It's like, you need story, you need to build, as you said, Biz, we need to get back to that, like making people yearn for what happens next, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of desire for like what's going to happen.
A little bit of aspiration.
A little bit of aspiration. Yeah. Maybe we need to anchor things back like a little bit more closely into the feeling of the moment.
Yeah.
Or like the cultural mood.
Well, I know every studio is both obsessed and terrified by Gen Z.
Yeah.
Because they literally like they don't get them.
What do we do?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like how do we crack them sort of thing? Like they look at them like they're from another planet sort of thing. And to your point, it's like a lot of the truth isn't that hard to figure out. You just need to go and search for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and not approach it through the formula first and foremost.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? Formulas are formulas because they work.
Right.
So like maybe there are moments in the story where you're like, look, if these two characters don't kiss by this point, like people are going to freak out.
Yeah.
And like whatever it is, or if we don't blow something up by this point.
Yeah.
But I think to me, those should be the things that they're like the little cherries on top to the story, not core to the story. And I like that idea of what do you think Gen Z wants? And then having the guts to build for that, and then seeing whether the formula has a role within that instead of starting from a place of the formula, as if I have any idea how TV shows are
I mean,
made.
heated rivalry. I can never say that
rivalry.
Word. Yes.
Yeah.
That was a show that a lot of people connected with, particularly like young people, but also like it was pretty like cross generation.
Very popular.
But it was like, to me, speaks to a cultural moment.
Yeah.
Very timely. I mean, timeless too, but like the way that they told the story of those characters and like the sort of cultural nuances feel very much of this time. I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, well,
heated rivalry. I was captivated.
I was just thinking about hockey and gay stuff, but
just every 30 minutes it scrolls through your mind.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as a Wisconsin
But
gay.
like, let's talk about that show for a second.
Yeah.
Like, did it have character development? Did it have some of the things that we were talking about?
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it did. I mean, that was the thing, is like it had a little bit of like, you didn't really understand the characters for a bit.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's also, this is so cliche, but like, I think as humans, like we all just, to be loved is to be seen, and like we want to see our mirror of ourselves and other people and our kids and our family and our partners and our friends. And we need that from shows. And part of that is like, you're not always understood.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like, you need a little bit of like, to not understand the character and the story within 5 minutes within the episode, within like, sometimes it's not until the 8th episode that you start to like, you know, understand why, even though you kind of hate that person, you also like kind of like them and see yourself in them, you know, or like you see your dad in them or whatever it is. And
I feel like there's lovable characters and there's villains, and so much of the interesting lives in the in-between. And even the complexity that you're talking about, I love, because I think that is literally why people connect. To your point, you're like, the mirror is held up and sometimes we don't like what we see, but it is still the mirror, and we're like, damn, that's true.
Even
I feel like TV
even in
was
dumb
the original
shows too.
therapy, to be honest. Like, I think it's where people saw themselves. But I like the I even love when a show actually, like Game of Thrones was great at this, the most hated character in the world you could suddenly 3 seasons later like feel bad
Right.
for
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
And you're just like, damn, how'd they
Holy
do that?
crap.
Yeah.
How do I feel bad for this
Yeah.
But that's so
character.
reflective of life.
Yeah,
The amount of people
totally.
have been like, I fucking hate that guy. And then
Yeah.
like 2 years later, I'm like, he's all right.
Like,
Yeah.
he's
We're having
like,
beers
he's in a
later.
tough-
Yeah, he was
He's in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was going through a divorce. Like,
Yeah.
It's so true. It's so true.
But I remember what I was going to say, which is talk about reality TV. Like, I feel like there's way more reality TV now
It's
where
awful.
they think that they're, and again, this is like me thinking I know TV, but like my assumption is they're like, we're capturing a very topical thing in culture right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of it, I think it's dirtier than that. Like,
it's
I think
so
they're just like,
exploitive, though.
but like, I don't think that it's always the best form of storytelling. And I don't think it, in a lot of ways, it captures the complexity of humans and like the nuance of us all. And it's, you know, you can think that it's like a psychological experiment. I think it's true somewhat.
Yeah.
But also the way that is produced and directed is not really speaking to the yearn, the aspiration,
No.
the complexity of humans. Like, it's a lot more just attention grabbing, like
Yeah.
brain fog. Like, I don't know what we're really getting out of it, you know?
Yeah. Well, we're not getting, I don't know, like, look, like, far be it from me to cast judgment on whatever show you want to watch, provided it's not truly hurting you or hurting
Yeah.
other people. Like, I really,
Totally.
good for you.
Yeah.
know?
100%.
Yeah.
This is meant to be a medium that entertains, and, you know, that's
Yes.
kind of the point
Yeah.
of it at the end of the day. So, like, anything I say about reality TV, don't like, there's stupidity to me being like, oh, I don't think it's good enough.
And I
But
watch
think-
it all the time.
But
Like,
the thing is like,
yeah.
I think it's meant to pull a different, like, I think what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think the thing we're kind of talking about is storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sure, reality TV, there is storytelling to it, but not sort of in act 1, act 2, act 3. It's a little bit more just like, watch these people sort of inevitably create conflict.
Totally.
Yeah. And they're, I think they're like a lot cheaper to produce, right?
Very
And to
cheap.
make.
Reality.
cheap.
Reality.
Yeah.
TV.
Compared to
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
what we're talking about.
California, man, it's expensive to make anything these days here.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
I
TV
mean, I have a
shows
lot of
wise.
like really smart, fun friends that like the way that they reflect on reality TV is like very interesting. And like
Oh, dude.
through that connection of other people, it becomes what we're talking about, which
Yeah.
is like you understand yourself and humans more through it. But I don't know if that's like how everyone is engaging with it. You know what I mean?
My wife, one time she was like watching it, and I got on my high horse about how awful it was for no reason in particular. And like, she was like on her phone, sitting there, paying half attention to it. And she's like, Simon, do you know how you watch like some sports that you just don't care about and it's
Yeah.
on in the background? I was like, yeah. She's like, that's how I watch reality TV. Like, you're internalizing this way more than I do.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
You're
Like-
having like an
Like, to
emotion.
me, it's
Yeah.
just popcorn entertainment in the background. It's
Yeah.
two people in
Yeah.
a UFC fight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. You know
Which,
what I mean?
and by the way, I think there's a role for all of this.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that my original question is in lieu of what is happening today, because to your point in the beginning, Biz, like sometimes you need to turn your brain off. Sometimes you want to watch something just
Totally.
to cry. Sometimes
There's different
You-
mindsets in it.
totally.
100%.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about is like, yeah, just how do you make great TV?
Yeah.
Oof.
Tough one. I do think, Simon, though, back to your point about Gen Z, I think what we should do with a writer friend is we should do not an exact reprisal of this episode, but bring somebody back to ask the question of how does TV win Gen Z?
That's an interesting
So we
one.
can
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
my poor
Yeah.
planning on not having a brilliant witer guest with us today.
No, I like that. I
Not
think
that
that's
you're not a
smart.
brilliant writer.
Well, I mean, I'm not a TV writer, and I'm not like I think with a lot of this stuff too, like when I talk to my friends who are in the biz and who are writers and stuff like that, they think so deeply about character and story in a way that I don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like one of those things when someone like, when you have a great TV series, like I don't want to, I can spoiler alert an old show, but like when like Mad Men ends with him writing the Coke ad, and you then like think about it when you wake up the next day and think about the full circle sort of like story of, oh
Epiphany.
my God, like where the writer took that character all the way to there, and knowing that that was in someone's head of like, this is going to be where it all wraps up and stuff.
Yeah. Is it impact? Is that what it is? Is it impact from watching a show, even if it's not profound? But to full circle to us, like the, you know, shows that you want to rewatch, or shows that kind of come up, or shows that you want to share with other people. Like
I think in a weird way, it's like shows that certainly defined some part of me. And a lot of the times, frankly, it's just my sense of humor.
Yeah. Because like, it doesn't always need to be
like
serious.
That.
Like impact sounds like a serious word, but it doesn't always need to be that, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think about like, I think there's a generation of men who got funnier from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
totally agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, thank God
I love that show.
for millennial office culture, because I think that like made everything a lot like funnier at lunch, you know?
Yeah.
And like, it is sort of like, it's hard to make that formulaic though, right? Because that's cultural impact. It's like
such a specific moment and specific voice.
But it is, I guess, through like allowing good writers,
good artists,
and you know, to be able to make things and to experiment, you know, and to be wrong too.
It's Always Sunny
to
and
be
Girls
wrong
are both like, they're very different outputs, but the idea of, we're just going to let these creators sort of do what they think makes sense to express what they think is the thing that people want to hear and see.
Yeah.
It's still rooted in the same place.
Totally.
And,
you know what I mean?
And back to your other point, also both of those very rooted in people's ability to see themselves in like the moments in the real life of the characters. Like, I think impact is a great word, because I think it either defines some aspect of you, whether it's your sense of humor or whatever, or you discovered something,
your taste,
or it built your taste, or it like there was a discovery component to it. I think like truly, like first season of Severance was one of the first shows that in a while, I mean, and again, I don't watch a lot of TV, but it really like
made you think.
Not only made me think, but I did not. One of the things I was reading a little bit about in preparation for this is like, because there's so much media proliferation, people have gotten better at predicting outcomes in shows. And because there's so much discussion around the shows out, like even when a brilliant surprise is written into a show, someone discovers it before it happens or predicts it, and then people are talking about it. So that element of surprise gets taken away. But that the last episode of season 1, Severance, if you remember it,
banger.
Was like I had not felt that feeling in a very long time, where I was like, I did not see that coming. Like I like legitimately did not see that coming. And I just remember even for a moment being like, ooh, that was like not just, wow, that was a good show, but like, that was like, I feel alive for a minute.
Totally.
And so maybe part of this also is trying to, I know that there's a social benefit to like watching TV, but I wonder if part of this is actually trying to remove that component and actually having people watch in a vacuum again. So there's less discussion. It's counterintuitive, because the discussion I think helps make something popular, but all of that, you know, hypothesizing and predicting the outcomes of TV shows also makes it like you're not on the journey the way you should.
Just turn off the internet. We'll just turn off the internet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Pull the plug.
There is a switch somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Guys, the finale's coming out this weekend. We're going to turn off the internet.
Yeah.
And then put the finale on, then turn the internet back on.
I mean, that would actually be so cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it is really hard though. Like if you are watching episodic TV and you like miss the night that it comes out, you have to like avoid the internet for like 3 days until you can watch it, because you will get spoilers.
Yeah.
You will like, or hear people talk about it, and it's obnoxious.
It used to be like, did you see it? No, I missed it.
All right, I won't ruin it for you.
Yeah, I won't ruin it for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we could pull the plug.
Pull the plug on the internet.
I would love
I think
that,
that would be super. I mean, for many reasons, it would be nice.
Do you consider microdramas a show? We're saying no. We're still saying 20 minutes, just trying to make it a real thing.
Yeah, I think so, because I think it's too easy to just say, I think that I challenge the belief that people can only consume short form content.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that microdramas aren't, and not that microdramas
No,
aren't
I
even
question how
necessarily.
its ability to stick around.
Yeah.
I also think like, I mean, it's funny because like the longer you have this conversation, and I love conversations like this where you start off and you go like, okay, maybe there's a this, maybe there's a that, maybe there's this. And then I kind of end it being like, you just need to let great creative minds
Do their
give
thing.
them the freedom and the resources to do great creative things.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of it is that. You know what I mean? Like in the right hands, some things can be. I was thinking about this. This isn't TV. This is film. But I was actually, again, when I was in South by.
Hey, wait, did you go to South by?
I went to South by.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
just
yeah.
thought
Sorry,
I'd call-
I
okay,
wasn't
sorry.
sure.
It's been about 40 minutes since we last talked about it. I just had to mention it again. Steven Spielberg was there. And I was like, sorry. Yeah, he was there too.
Yeah, go.
No, it's a lot to just take it on.
So you and Steven are at
me
South.
and Stevie. I call him Stevie.
Yeah. He calls you Sai.
He calls me Cy.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, Steven Spielberg is at the level now where he is considered such a great creative mind that he's one of the few right now that like a studio will just throw $100 million at him and kind of go like, obviously studio still studio it, but they will throw $100 million on him being like, I got an idea that's not a Marvel movie, that's not existing IP, and I'm just going to do something. And they'll go, yeah, let's give it a shot. There's not many of those anymore.
How do good creatives in the TV industry rise up to gain that trust? Like I know like in sort of like advertising, it's like, even if you're a really good like young junior creative, it's not like you're going to just be thrown to make the whole thing by yourself, right? You're kind of like raised into it. Obviously there's like anomaly. There's people that just like out of nowhere, it's like they're like the girls writer. Like,
generally
it's
it's just a history of really good writing. Like it is like, oh, you used to write on blank show and then you wrote on blank show.
Yeah, you're in the writer's room.
That point, you've got a credit where you're now the head writer at this show. And then, why don't you pitch us some shows?
So you do have to like move your way up and earn that trust.
Yeah. It is actually like, it's
pretty slow.
It's very similar to any office culture of like, obviously more freelance, a little more bouncing around studios and stuff, but it's not like, you're right. Like there's some shooting stars and stuff, but what has really flipped it now is the thing we were talking about, which is like, and I get to any of my entertainment friends listening, I apologize for bringing something up that I know is like a sore conversation I have with so many people, but like the relationship to entertainment used to run through Hollywood for a lot of talent. And by that, I mean like, I would say up to even 15 years ago, maybe even more recent than that, it was like, go to LA, do stand up, try to join the Groundlings, try to get discovered by being like a great, I'm using comedy as an example. Yeah. Whereas like now it's like, if you're a kid who's funny, wherever you are in the US, start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And so it's like, you're like, just to use like a sports reference, like even it's like the whole college game disappeared and there's no recruiting anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people are all just playing different games all over the world. So it's like, what we were talking about, which was like these great creators giving them the freedom to do the great things and the guidelines to do it. It's like that access to the great creativity is getting a little bit dried up because these great creators just see other opportunities than they used to.
make
Yeah,
more.
that was what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
sort of if you want to make it big, actually you don't need to like earn your way up to the big screen.
No.
You can just pave your own path on your own screen.
Yeah, and the benefits in TV might not actually outweigh the benefits of anything else. Like I think it is almost a little bit of an outdated aspiration or dream to like have a show on TV. I don't know, maybe to your point, certain publishers like HBO or like that might still feel very aspirational, but
A24 is massively aspirational.
Totally.
Yeah.
But like even like pilots, like I know they used to fund them and then they were like, hey, if you give us 10K, we'll give you 10K. And now there's like some people who will be like, we'll buy your pilot, but we're not going to fund the making of it.
Yeah.
We got to see it first. And if we like it, you know what I mean? Like there's all sorts of like, it's just gotten tougher to follow that path,
So interesting.
which is weird.
A24 makes shows, don't they?
I think so.
But no, did they do Euphoria, I think, or no?
Did they? I don't know.
I feel like I'm I'm curious why some of those like good indie houses are not making more shows. Like, is it profit? Is it like,
I don't know.
integrity of art? Like, because I feel like that's part of it too, is like in this conversation, there's been sort of like more of a rise for like film and like people advocating for that. But then shows are just kind of like left in like a murky space.
I think we got a little bit of a burst as like the streaming wars went into full force because I think people started to think that the only way to actually win the streaming wars was original content. And so then
it was crazy.
Apple and
really good
HBO
shows.
wanted to be premium, which forced Netflix to be like, okay, we can make 1,000 crap things, but then we have to make one like banger.
And Orange is the New Black.
And everybody started, I think, raising the bar. But I think you said it earlier, Simon. I think people also started to realize that the return on investment of original content, it's like
low.
It's really low. So I think maybe this is like also just an impossible question, A, because it was a very strange subjective question, but B, because the system itself is broken. And
it's so weird.
Whenever we're having a conversation where it's like, well, it's really actually like counterintuitive and super expensive to make shows, and you have to give people space, and no one wants to give space, and there's no ability to experiment because the system doesn't reward it. You're a little bit like, shit.
This is where I get like really soft in the whole like AI conversation, but I'm like, I really believe in humanity. I really believe in our ability to adapt and to rebel and to like to move forward despite. And I just wonder like I feel like, we're like seeing some of it in film, but it's like just on the cusp. Like I'm curious for the next 10 years, how shows are going to shift, how film is going to shift, how content is going to shift, the new platforms. Cause I feel like creativity is our sort of like strength against all 100%. This, and it will prevail. Like it will show up.
Amen.
And that's my, I'm gonna go cry now, but
I think that's good.
We can all go cry to a TV show.
If I was to do a silver lining on what we're kind of talking about here, which is there's been high points for a lot of different types of art, right? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean the creativity goes away. It just manifests in different forms. And I think like we have never had more democracy of access to putting things on platforms and letting your creativity truly be viewed by as many people as possible. But the unfortunate consequence, I think, of it is, man, it has gotten hard to make good TV. You know what I mean? For all the reasons that this was supposed to be a how do we crack it? And I think it kind of sadly became a here's why it's so hard to crack it.
Existential. I had a theory it would go this way, but
I kind of like it. You know what I mean?
Thank you for indulging me.
No.
It's a good topic
on that one. It's sort of like it's like one of those personal curiosities, you know, that you're just like, I don't know that it's crackable. Maybe if you break it down into a much more pointed question, like how do we bring better comedy back? Like, you know, maybe
I liked your reframing of like, how do you make Gen Z care about TV?
Yeah,
again?
we'll bring an expert in for that one. We'll do that.
But I think these are good though too, because I always like when I don't at least think I know I have the answer before we even, you know what I mean, kick it off. But I like it.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'll wrap us up.
Please.
I mean, I think
do.
Biz, what you said at the end was so beautiful and poetic, and I wish I wrote your words down, and maybe I'm gonna go back and listen to them and also cry. But I think this was just a really interesting introspective conversation around the role, actually really just around the role of creativity in the world today. And I think we talked a lot about how the power of storytelling, which sounds so cliche, but it's just so true and it's so important. And we talked about how much we need to be able to see ourselves in characters, in stories, to be able to like experience almost our own truths and joys and lies and all of those things, but through other people, because that's kind of what makes us human, and it's what connects us to stories. And the system is just not built to incentivize that level of exploration and experimentation. And if we want to have sort of the golden era back, we just have to let creatives be creatives. And I think what you said is beautiful, Biz, that like, I also believe in humanity. I believe in creativity. And I think against all odds, it will prevail.
Yeah. Amen.
It's beautiful. Well said.
So,
Amen.
Biz, did we crack it?
No. No, I have no. But it was a great conversation, and I like where it took us. Yeah.
Simon?
No.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, almost like, I think we could crack smaller pieces.
Totally.
Yeah.
One piece at a time, and then eventually crack this. The conversation was incredibly interesting, and it's so complicated because like, you're right. Like, this is like one part, like almost like emotional, spiritual. This is one part mental. This is one part structural. This is one part financial, and economic, and like all these things sort of create this weird soup of where we've gotten into right now that makes it so hard to crack.
I agree.
Yeah.
Not cracked. Super
Not
fun.
Cracked.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time on Crack It in an Hour. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. If you like the show, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you have questions, thoughts, or feedback, shoot us an email at hello@crackitpodcast.com or on Instagram @crackitpodcast. Music done by Michael Anastasi, cover art shot by Mick Mint, and all things audio and video taken care of by Nathan Nash. See you next time.